Hello and welcome to episode 3 of my YouTube channel. My name is Camille Seaman and I am here on the shores of the Shannon River, almost at the mouth of the Atlantic Ocean in Dunaha, Ireland. On this episode, I wanted to tell you about my adventures in the Arctic and Antarctic. But since I've spent over 20 years photographing in those regions of our incredible planet, it's impossible to put all of that into one episode. And so what I'm going to do is break them up. Today I wanted to tell you my personal 5 reasons why I think you should visit the Arctic before you go to Antarctica. Reason number 1, easier access. If you look at any globe, you will see that there is much more accessible countries and territories to access in the Arctic Circle than there is in the Antarctic Circle. For example, if you were to try and go to the Antarctic Circle, you would have to go much further south than just the tip of the peninsula, like so many tourist vessels do. Unless you're going on a small personal yacht or science expedition, it's much harder to get to the Antarctic Circle than it is to the Arctic Circle. The Arctic Circle is basically a treasure trove. You can fly to Norway. You can take a ship to Svalbard. You can drive through Finland or Sweden or Russia. You can go to Alaska or Canada. All of these places are much easier to get to than anywhere in the Antarctic. So reason number 2, I recommend you go to the Arctic before the Antarctic, is there are people in the Arctic. There are incredible cultures in the Arctic. There are the Inuit, the Inupiat, there are Canadians, there are Russians. There are so many people that have lived for thousands of years within the Arctic Circle. It is not a lonely place to go if you don't want it to be. And the cultures that are there are incredible. The people, for example, of Greenland are so warm. Canadian Arctic, so warm. Russian Arctic. You can go to Norway. You can literally drive all the way to the tip of Norway and you are way inside of the Arctic Circle. So that means you can sleep in a comfortable bed, a warm hotel, great food, and you can even go dog sledding. So the Arctic is much easier to access as far as people. People live there. That means there are airports there. There are ports there. There are roads there. That's number 2. Number 3, yes, believe it or not, it's less crowded when you travel to the Arctic than if you were to travel to Antarctica. Primarily because if you go to Antarctica, you are going to usually be on a ship. You are going to be on a vessel with other passengers. Maybe you can sail there by yourself, and if you can, that's great. There's just a few of you that are on that. But crossing that Southern Ocean, you may not wish you were on that small sailboat. You either get the Drake Lake or the Drake Shake. A little bit more about why it's less crowded in the Arctic. Because there are roads, because people are there, you can find some small tiny village to stay in and you will be the only tourist there. Whereas in Antarctica, you will always have other people around you, pretty much. That's reason number 3. Yeah, this is a big one. Reason number 4. Reason number 4, I recommend you go to the Arctic before you go to the Antarctic, is you can get there independently. Like I said, you can fly there, you can drive there, you can sail there. when you go to Antarctica, it's much more expensive, much more challenging to get there independently. That means if you go to the Arctic, you can create your own itinerary, your own schedule, figure out places that you want to stay and things that you want to do. That's reason number 4. And reason number 5, it's cheaper. It's cheaper to go to the Arctic any day than it is to go to Antarctica. Unless you're doing a very exclusive trip through the Northwest Passage, that can run you $25,000–$30,000 US per person. And these are places that it's very challenging to get to alone. That's the most expensive trip you can probably do in the Arctic. Everything else is so accessible. Like I said, you can fly, you can drive. And that, I hope, will give you reasons enough to go to the Arctic before you go to Antarctica. Now, if you've stuck around this long, I'm glad you have. Thank you. Maybe you like this video or even subscribe to this channel. One of the things I didn't put in the list but is still significant is if you go to Antarctica first, you will be spoiled. You have to remember that looking for wildlife in the Arctic is much more challenging than it ever will be in the Antarctic, and that's primarily because, again, humans have lived in the Arctic for thousands of years, tens of thousands of years. And that means the animals know that they are hunted, and so they are usually shy. Whereas in Antarctica, you will be outnumbered by penguins and birds. Go to the Arctic first. Appreciate its unique beauty, the beauty of the cultures that have shown true resilience there for thousands of years, and then go to Antarctica. I hope this has helped you, and I look forward to telling you about the Antarctic. And that will be in our next video, which hopefully won't take as long as this one did. Thank you very much for watching this, and have a great day.